Hello everybody, welcome back. It wasn't that long ago that I was on another live and I just finished doing my workout. Got my protein shake here as well for my post-workout, so bon appetito. Really enjoy having one of these a day, like my meal replacement. I actually prefer this to some of the food that I eat at times. I do find it a bit of a struggle, especially when you're trying to be good and stuff, because 80% of it is what you eat. It's your diet, it's what you're consuming, and consuming doesn't only mean food. A lot of the time you're not getting enough water. So I'm an advocate for, especially with kids when they're like, I'm hungry, I want something, and just saying, have a glass of water. Of course, I want fizzy pop and lemonade and all these kind of things. And then we wonder why they can't sleep at night and they're bouncing off the walls, right? So I quite like it when I get like my nephews involved with a little bit of exercise. That's really good. That's why I'm doing one of these challenges. Again, it really holds me accountable, and it gives me a bit of purpose as well. And since the start of lockdown and then putting my dog down, I kind of 14 and a half years of having a purpose every day is like a ball and chain. A bit like being married, I suppose. I mean, 14 years is a life sentence, right? Hilarious. And I really found that doing these challenges really helped me. It gave me something to kind of push forward for. And I lost a lot of weight and got a lot healthier in lockdown. I wasn't going to the shops as much. I was raiding the cupboards. A thing you might not know about me is I lived in Spain for 10 years and I've run pubs for nearly 20 years. And haven't done that for a while now. But it comes as a natural byproduct that you have to be able to cook and stuff. I wasn't very well. About 5 years ago, I was just shy of 100 kilos. And I'm probably quite happy in myself at the time. But until you become really happy and you start knowing new stuff, and then you realize how good at faking it you really were, kind of thing. And I basically had to lose a lot of weight. And so I had a personal trainer for on and off for like 2 years before I came back to England, and he taught me so much. That was when I first started to exercise properly and started to eat to complement the actual training as well. And then I really enjoyed that. So that was cool, and was bulking up. And a lot of my friends in Spain are gym buffs, as it were. They're not bodybuilders or anything like that, but they go, no matter what they're doing, they're in the gym every day, they're exercising, they're very active, we're out on our bikes. And that's a bit of me, to be honest. I quite like that. A bit different in England with the weather. I mean, you can do everything, but you can't kind of beat having best part of 300 days a year sunshine all year round, and you can just sort of jump out on the bike and in shorts and a t-shirt. Even on Christmas Day I was riding around on my bike, so it's a completely different ball game. So this is about this is the third day of the tens campaign, tells 10 tells 10 campaign. And the first day I basically dropped you a mindset challenge about affirmations and saying things to yourself. If you hadn't heard of affirmations, affirmations are simple statements of truth, power statements that you say to yourself to create new habits and beliefs. Then yesterday, because reading my book, the You Are a Badass by Jen Soreko, and Soroko, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, apologies. And I covered a chapter in there all about gratitude. And it dawned on me, and I said yesterday, wow, I've not been expressing enough gratitude, and that's probably why I've felt recently a little bit of like an energy block. Haven't felt as in flow as I did before. That's ended up being a byproduct of me feeling quite angry and moody at times. So then I knew that the exercise was certainly going to help with that. So what I wanted to talk to you today was how with the affirmations. So we'll quickly explain about affirmations. So I do loads of affirmations every day, and some of them I actually will listen to like in a meditation audio. So it kind of ticks two boxes, but it's a lot more powerful when you write them down. And the reason for this is if your memory is, we call it a memory matrix, and your memories, if you imagine each finger is a memory and they're like latticed all together like spiders' webs. So in hypnotherapy and reprogramming techniques, when there's things that aren't serving you, we can actually remove a few of those, and the whole thing comes crashing down. And then that just makes certain beliefs or emotions that you have not as powerful. So we can't do it as quick as that all the time, and nothing in life is a snap of the fingers. Everything's a work in progress. You don't usually, it's pretty much impossible to hit any new challenge or task or skill and perfect it, master it straight away. I mean, it does happen. Never say never. But for the most part, people have to work at these things because, you know, people have to work at whatever they're doing in their job for the mastery, or if they're doing certain sports. I mean, like this, for instance, I wouldn't be able to do as easily a 10-minute workout kind of thing after doing that same workout, say, for 2 months than you do in the first day. We've all been on a training course or something like that, and we've kind of, well, in the first day back at work, and we all feel like bloody idiots, don't we? We're not quite sure what we're doing, and you've got someone going, making you feel stupid because you make silly mistakes, put it in the wrong place, until you've done it. You know, you might have done it a couple of times, you know it, got it down to a T, or you might do it for a few months, and then you're like, right, and then you're the person showing everyone else. With this mindset stuff, it's no secret, by the way, that like Tony Robbins and people like that for, you know, decades have basically been doing coaching and in the knowledge industry. What I like to call it is motivational education. Also, another way of calling it is human optimization techniques. And the list is never ending of different techniques, whether it be holistic practices or, you know, or different gurus, whether they people hear of yogis, or which is like people into like meditation, yoga, Reiki. Light workers, for instance, is anybody that's basically interested or doing any work around energy work, which means that empaths, people that are susceptible to it. And I think, to be honest with you, everybody, I mean, this is for everyone. It might not be for you, and you might go, no, that's not me. But it is for you, certainly, because you can't deny the fact that with our memories being the way they are, when we're doing affirmations and things like that, and I'm talking about these different prongs, if I just say to myself, I am happy, that's like 2 levels, bang, you said it twice. If you write it down, when you write something down, you're creating energy and more movement going into that action, right? So if you write down, I am happy, what happens is that's 1. So you thought it, 1, you wrote it down twice, you then automatically reading it back over, 3. Now, whenever you, because we're so clever, right? Whenever you flip to that page or you see it, you're going to scan over it. You're not actually going to read it. You're going to put in the gaps. So that's why some of us can look at these things, these challenges and stuff, and fill in the gaps. Or when you see sometimes on posts when it says, oh, if you can read this and it's backwards or something, then you're, you know, in the top 5% of people, like IQ tests. So that's what our brain's doing. Our brain's always doing that all the time, filling in the gaps depending on the programming, because we all have a bias and a filtering system in place. So we all generalize, we all generalize, delete and extort what's coming in at us. At no given time can we accept everything that's coming into our reality, because our heads would pop off our shoulders. We've got like 50,000 thoughts coming in a day, and quite often, I'll say 5 million things coming at us century-wise all the time, and you can't process all of those. The other thing is that you can't. Sorry, I'm being really put off by this noise in the background, so apologies. Bear with me.
Is that you?
No, it's you, dear, in your life. So I'm just waiting for you to leave.
Sorry.
That's not my wife, it's my mum. Even though when we go on holiday, people say, are you partners? And it drives me mad. I think I need to coach.
Not that one.
Oh, excuse me, guys. It's in your bag. No swearing. Go away, please. 21st century problems, right? Sorry, I've got to shut all the doors now. Okay, that's mother dearest. I banished her to the to the garden because she does some pretty wacky and wonderful things. So with our memory matrices and stuff, so the more we do more of the same things, we create that mastery. So when you're going to the gym and you're working out a muscle, you do it so far, and then you fail or it gets hard and you stop, but that's where growth happens. Well, with our minds, you have to do the same things over and over again. Unfortunately, because you have these 50,000 thoughts a day that are pretty much on repeat and are very similar to the thoughts you had the day before, like 90% of them are something stupid. Also, another thing is that for you to really force home these affirmations and gratitude, it really is kind of forcing it at first. You're creating that repetition. So that's why when we're saying to yourself, I am worthy and deserving, I'm worthy and deserving, saying it over and over and over again, you then start to believe it over a period of time. They say between 21 to 28 days it takes to create new habits. Why is that? Well, basically we have neurons firing in our brains, and when you have new thoughts or you have habits being created, when they start firing together and then doing it on repetition, they'll wire together. So after a period of time, you start reaffirming that by doing it over and over again. That's when things become easy. That's when these thoughts start becoming automatically. So sometimes you hear people talking about pats and ants, automatic negative thoughts or positive automatic thoughts. These are created at the moment. We've got ants in our pants. Basically, we've got loads and loads of negative bias from growing up to not feeling good enough to always having to try and get like 100% on tests, by being programmed and conditioned into society, which is not our fault. The way it's no one's to blame, and it's not our fault why we think and do what we do. Essentially, the important thing is just to know that it's your responsibility to change. And change is completely possible. Change is actually a good thing. I know people go, oh, I don't like change. Change is completely inevitable. It's the one thing, as well as time, that is basically a constant that you kind of don't have control over. You're always, precious commodity that is time. It's an inherited wealth that we've had recently. Whether or not people have put it to good use or not is there, down to each and every one individually, right? So positive thoughts don't just occur. Some people are just naturally positive, but you do have to force them. And if you're not, and you're interested in learning how, that is where law of attraction comes into it. Law of attraction is no secret. There are many, many self-development books. I mean, the one I really, really like is The Magic. It's not the first from that series of books. You've got The Secret, The Power, The Magic. There's another one as well, I'm sure. There might even be loads of them. But the thing that's completely obvious with all these books and anything self-development wise, and even therapy wise, and it even goes into faith and religion and into rehabilitation, it all very much comes down to the same things. And that comes down to positivity, gratitude, and creating new habits, whether it be in your thinking or whether or not with your physiology. But there is a link between your brain and your body. And this is where the hack is for law of attraction. It's about feeling as well as taking action. So if I'm sat there, and I did for a long time, I don't know if I've got my book here. Yes, it's right behind me. I'll show you. And I don't show people this as a rule. There we go. I don't show people this as a rule. Sometimes when I used to do holistic therapy with people, I would show them as examples, because what resonates with me and what I need isn't what someone else needs necessarily. So what's really good is to change them up. So, and I've been on a journey where I look back now and I can see how I've changed depending on what my needs were for my affirmations and my gratitude. So I'll read out some of the ones. Some of these are very much business and success related, because I was, at the time when I started all this stuff, I was on the first stages of my kind of awakening, my spiritual journey, as it were. And I was starting to learn about law of attraction. I was studying hypnotherapy and psychotherapy. More recently, I've done that NLP, which has just brought everything together really well. That's neuro-linguistic programming. And the beauty of that is it really tied together the whole the language that we use, because obviously the language we use, which we send out, we hear it first, but then we have to be mindful. Mindfulness, by the way, is about observing stuff. So mindful, observing your own thoughts and kind of observing their behavior. And then when you become the observer, excuse me, there's no shake. Things really start to kind of improve for you because you look at things completely different because of those filtering systems we were talking about earlier. That's all to do with your programming, how you filter. It's all to do with your preferences. So how mum thinks which is a priority or not, or thinks that wandering in and wandering around looking for stuff is like completely normal, whereas I would be like, no, that's not normal. That's why you have conversations about things. By the way, I'd give you a shout. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But then I can choose to be annoyed about that or just let it completely go. I used to get annoyed because I was very much someone who was saying, why are they doing that to me? She's done that. Like in this scenario, I would have been like probably angry, turned this off, deleted everything, had an argument, instead of just going, well, it is what it is. So what's the good that comes out of that? Actually, I'm using it as an example now, which is really good, of how I now can let go of stuff. And I know that basically this is the clincher. Things are happening for me. They're not happening to me. So if things are happening for you, you actually adapt rather than react. Can you see the difference there? So the difference with that example is me going, get out, which wouldn't look good, would it? Probably wouldn't look good for me either, to be fair, but then it wouldn't be very nice. Well, at the end of the day, is it a massive problem? Not really. Problem's not a problem unless it's a problem. And I used to say to people when we used to basically have conversations, be sat even in this room sometimes and say, what is it you want to get out of this? Or why are you here? Or what are you hoping to achieve? I just wanted to say, by the way, I stuck Clive's lardy arse like I used to be. So I put him to work and stuck him on the bike there. I even put the mat next to him. Yes, I know he's just a plush toy ape, but I quite like mucking around with him. Do you know that people do a little bit of tangent, but it's funny. And I like funny things in my life because laughter is medicine, but don't stop taking your medicine. They do the elves at Christmas for kids, right? Is it naughty elves or something like that? And yeah, you put them around the house doing naughty things. That's what I do with Clive over there. So he turns up in bed with people sometimes and all sorts. He's even turned up in the passenger seat in the car once. Hilarious. Right, let's get on point. So in my business, there's like, I'm a digital marketer essentially, and I help other people start working online, which doesn't interfere with their current jobs or anything. And I was doing it for pretty much over a year alongside other stuff. And then when it gets to a certain point when you really can take grasp of that freedom and push it onto the next level, you start to let go of other stuff. So I was really kind of aiming for, I'm at this level, I'm at that. So I am, I will, I have is affirmation statements, simple power statements of truth. So I was like, I have consistent mornings and evening routines. I am confident. I am successful. I'm brimming with confidence and overflowing with joy. I am healthy. My mind is brilliant. My soul is tranquil. So if I just stand there and read them off like that, that's fine. Okay. And I can do that. And I can do that till the cows come home. But it's not as powerful as going, almost trying to breathe. A lot of some of the things which we talk about so that you can feel stuff more is actually being aware of your breathing. It's the fastest way to take yourself out of fight or flight mode, which is anxiety. Breathing, being aware of your breathing, because when you're concentrating on your breathing, you're not thinking. And the problems we all have in our lives is all created by thinking. Two massive things in life that we all could be without: overthinking and sugar. Because both of them completely balls up our sleep. And if we balls up our sleep, then we balls up loads of things in our lives, like a proper domino effect. So I'd be like, I am in control. I am in control. I am in control. And even throwing a smile in there. But you do feel stupid saying I love you to yourself in the mirror. I approve of you. I love you. Powerful. These are truly powerful things that everybody can be doing, guys, by the way. But the reason we don't do these stuff is because we've been conditioned not to do stuff that makes us feel uncomfortable, which is crazy because we do uncomfortable stuff all the time. But to what level are you happy being uncomfortable and just do that uncomfortable stuff anyway? Like working 50 hours a week for 40 hours of 40 years of your life, and living paycheck to paycheck, running home from work and being knackered, and then being like arsey with the missus, arsey with the kids, and then at the weekend you want to relax, but you've got chores to do, and she wants time and they want time. That's no life. Okay, it's normal life, but this is an old way. And I think more and more people are realizing now that the gift that is like the internet and this technical age that we're in is a new age way of learning, new age way of earning money, a new age way of living life. But that's what makes me laugh, because it's not new age at all. It's going back to actual core values and principles of how we will, how we were kind of designed to live. Yeah, okay, technology is great and this and that, and we're not all going to go back to the Stone Age and start living in caves and stuff. However, we can live more resourcefully and use that technology to push us forward. People doing tests or doing work within holistics and within neuroscience and all these kind of things. Well, how do these people know? And I want to know, how do these people know? And then they kept it quiet from us when we were at school and things like this. My parents don't know about the stuff I know about, and it drip feeds off them. There's positive ripple effects. The more people that will read a book like The Magic. And by the way, anybody watching this, if you go into Terry James, which is at Brettsy, BRETSI 77 on Facebook, like my page, send me a message saying I've liked your page. I will send you free of charge an ebook, The Magic. Okay, you can go and buy a hard copy for like a tenner or something, or you can download it. I'll give it to you for free. No problem at all. I used to do a 30-day mindset challenge where basically I would give people the ebook and then say, follow the ebook. And then I'll do motivational bits every morning, just covering little topics, or anyone struggling, just a bit of accountability and support. That's what all these challenges are about, really. It's not always about you following every single thing to the letter. It's about you doing something. It's about positive steps, positive change. And in life, we should always, and this is what changed in my life, 2 years ago, no, it was about the 12th of January what would it be, 2017, so 3 years ago. And the thing that changed was I dedicate myself to being a little bit better every single day, and that's not a bad thing to do. And if that's what you're trying to achieve, if you're in a rut, stuck somewhere, or just want to improve, just start little by little. Simple as that, and really, really powerful. So at the time, as you can see here, there was stuff about setting up those routines, about me having self-belief that I'm okay, I'm positive, I am enough, I have no negativity in my life. This is a big one that I constantly have to keep saying. So that I have no positivity in my life, and things like I am popular. I'm a massive one, believe it or not, for suffering with imposter syndrome. I'm very intuitive. I feel a lot, and I could be on a live or something and someone could be sniggering in the corner, and I'll think they're laughing at me. And that's like being programmed, hardwired into my very existence and soul, my subconscious, to always be thinking that I'm kind of not enough, or I'm a joke, or people think I'm a muppet. You probably all do. See, there's the probably generalizing. So then I had to do with things, everything is working out for me. Everything, I am happy. Everything is always working out for me. It's such a powerful one. There's actually a couple of good things are happening for me, and everything is always working out for me. Those two are massive, 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 massive. So, but again, you change them for what you want. And if you really start feeling them, after about 8 or 9 days, you'll start feeling a bit easier. At first, you might be going, I am in control. And your little voice in your head will be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Just tell it to shut up. Actually, don't argue with it, because you normally never win against your own head. You can just let it go. Okay, you win. You can do the whole shut up, no thinking. Depends if you want to do the softly approach, or whether you like to not hardball yourself. I know I quite like a bit of both. Sometimes I like a nice soothing lady meditation, that nice feelings and floaty stuff and lovey-dovey. And other times I need someone like Adrian Wesley, the most sought after clinical hypnotherapist on the planet. He's a personal mentor of mine. Very soon I hope to be meeting the guy out in Thailand, and he will basically just throw affirmations in hypnosis audios straight down your neck. And I need that sometimes, but then other times I just want to listen to delta waves, and delta waves is powerful as well because of it helps to synchronize your brain waves. It raises your vibration, and everything we're doing here, guys, is all about raising vibration. It's all about, it always comes back to these things: positivity, gratitude, self-love, because when you do those things, you experience something. And what you experience is a flow. You know, that water off a duck's back, walking into a room and nothing being a problem for you, being able to look at the best possible angle on every single thing that happens for you in your life. And your reality is created by your thinking. Your thinking creates your perception. Your perception creates your reactions. Your way that you perceive and react to things creates your moods, your emotions, and your physiology. So if we go right the way back and it all starts with a thought, well, now you can see how powerful being mindful really truly is. So I love this one. Only positive and helpful thoughts support me. I delete unwanted and negative thoughts. It's a really good one. That's one I always go back to. I am enough. I am enough. Saying thank you, thank you. I am worthy and deserving. And then I went on this mad one. I had like this, I probably didn't do these for a little bit. And then I went on this mad one and wrote down a whole page, about 20 different things, and wrote them down 5 times each, because again, the writing down, reaffirming that matrix, bang, 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 making it more powerful, believing it, writing it. And then now I seldomly don't read all of them. What I'll do is I'll just go and scan and be like, I'm happy, I'm worthy and deserving, I am enough. I attract. I won't tell you what I attract. I help lots of people. I'm a money magnet. I am happy. Even put a little bit in here about thanking, like, for having my dog's good health. And my cat went missing the day after. And so then I started putting in there about thank you for returning Zazzles to me. Because with the gratitude thing, if you're grateful when you're feeling for something, as soon as you think it, it's already out there in the universe, right? It's already been, or the workings of are going to be created for you. And then all you need to do after creating a thought of what you want is basically be in receiving mode of it. And the way that you do that is by getting yourself in the same vibrational frequency as that is of what you want. So what does that mean in layman's terms? Well, all the good stuff is high vibing, right? So if you're in a low mood, you're only going to attract low mood stuff. So essentially, if you are pursuing yourself and I'm so stupid and I always mess up this and they don't like me and it's their fault, and playing the blame game, playing the entitlement trap, which means that you're the victim and everything's happening to you and not for you, there's so much that you have to change. But it all starts with one thing, and that's awareness. And that awareness is awareness of around the gratitude, the positivity, that we're doing these things so that we can reprogram ourselves to have a better bias than's been currently programmed in us by the environment we're in. And of course, everything in life thrives in a good environment. So if you're not thriving in your life, maybe it's because your environment. And of course, if the environment you're creating, that vibration for your body, isn't good, then you're actually creating dis-ease in your own body. And then where dis-ease is, the environment, what thrives in horrible environments, diseases. So really, when you hear stuff about power of your mind, you can heal yourself and all that, yeah, you can. I mean, it's pretty much proven that through positive thinking, through the right diet, what you drink actually is a massive one. And that's another thing that I'm a huge advocate for, that I don't talk enough about, that I changed my water and it opened me up into a completely different, it was like a catalyst of change for me. And I won't go into it too much now, but I am a part of a community that drinks essentially the best water on the planet. And we've invested our time and our money and ourselves into using, learning, and helping other people to discover the water as well. So I hardly ever drink alcohol. I think I had a couple of beers a couple of times the last couple of weeks. I didn't drink for 6 months. I had my protein shakes, but I use my water with that as well. Yeah, and I don't even like have juices and stuff. I used to drink lots of green tea, but just went straight down the water route because of doing all this learning about what's going into my brain. And then, of course, with all the PT and nutrition stuff and wellness and fitness, I was then very mindful that it's a bigger package. So there's three, health, wealth, and happiness. Health, what's going into you, but it's also, they all are congruent together. That it all starts with a thought, and it all starts with what's going on here. Because if you believe what you want to do, then you wouldn't need encouragement in other areas. Because if you have that self-discipline, if you've got that motivation, that self-esteem, because you know that you're going to do the right things, and you talk to yourself positively, and you don't talk yourself out of things, you live a very, very much more fulfilling and purposeful life. And even when you have to do stuff that you don't want to do, you'll do it. And you'll do it because you'll know why you're doing it, and you'll focus on the why, what the good going to come out of that, rather than you sitting there doing it anyway and blaming everyone else and saying they're doing that to wind me up and they're doing this to wind me up. Well, what happens? You're in low mood, you're in low vibration, and then you just attract more shit, because that's what shit vibrates at. Problems, drama. I'm unfortunately someone that is surrounded constantly with drama, with negativity, with just very low mood situations and people. And I find that extremely hard to keep myself up. It really does. And someone said to me, if you look at it in a different way, it's possibly that you're just looking at it through the wrong set of eyes. So take yourself out, be the observer, be the third person, and look at it like, what's this trying to teach me, or what is the good in every situation? So this is where gratitude really comes into having that bias of looking at something and saying, well, what was good though? I could fall off my bike for some reason. And I saying yesterday to you that every single, I keep looking at my cat down there. He's doing that whole thing on the floor. Bless him. Everything's happening for us. Everything is happening for us. And whether or not you believe it, don't believe it, if you don't change your thinking, nothing's going to change. And yes, that's hard. That's a hard nut to swallow, that, isn't it? Because you'd like to think that you can life is as easy or as hard as you make it. It really is a choice, but you need to make the right choices consecutively and consistently to create the habits to keep driving you towards the high vibrational stuff that's going to give you more happy things and more great things to notice. And that's why when you're in the gutter, when you're really down and you think there's no way out, nothing's ever going to get better. Well, actually, the point is that it can't get any worse. And that's always a great place to start, because you don't have to be great to get started. You just got to be started to get great, right? So let's have a quick look at the back. So what I'm saying more recently. So now that I've shifted again, and every time I shift, and if I've gone from sort of working on doors, going to the gym, doing some agency work, and then running sort of like a side hustle, doing psychiatry courses, as well as working with case studies and working with paying clients as well. Then it all changed, and I was like, right, I'll just go fully online. I couldn't see clients, went online. Then the family coming back after the beginning of lockdown, and of course I couldn't do this kind of stuff. Imagine if I was with a client now and we want to do some hypno, I can't have kids running around. I can't have Mother Dearest walking in going, making funny noises and talking to herself. It's not the right environment for me. So let that go. And then I can do more stuff like this, like doing the fitness video and stuff. And I enjoy doing that. To be honest, it's a massive accountability thing for me, because we're pretty much all on our own, right? Because we were alone in our thoughts. We have support. We have people around us that will help us. And you actually have the choice to ask for help. Common sense wise, there's so much help out there. resourceful wise, there's stuff online, and again, there's books, and there's all sorts of things you can do, whatever it is you need to do to help yourself. So there's things that I wanted to trust the process that I was letting go of some stuff, getting out of certain communities and circles, because I had to then be around more people doing what I'm doing, so that I can then learn the things that I need to learn, or even be pointed in the right direction, so then I can help the next person on. So I was started saying stuff like, I trust the process, because I was doubting myself. I let go every day. So that basically that means I'm letting go of thoughts. So it's basically saying I'm going to do a meditation every day during the day, just to relax and let go, which is actually really great if you're if you get in the habit of doing that, like 5 minutes in the car on the way home from work or something. It really is like a grounding, reset, nice, clear your thoughts. Because all we're doing, and all I was doing for a long time, is I was going from one string of stressful situations into the next chapter of stressful situations. And it got to a stage when I just then didn't want to do anything. I was just like, nah, bollocks, like I don't want to do anything. So when you're more mindful, when you choose those days to say, today I don't feel like doing anything, you can just do nothing. By the way, employment's easy, by the way. It's soul destroying, but it's so easy. Get there at this time, leave at that time. Admittedly, I would have the problem with that. If anyone said, you're not going to the toilet yet, that's for a medical reason. And plus, I've been a boss, or always got myself into a boss leadership role, even from the age of 18. So yeah, if I was always born to do maybe a little bit of my own thing. It's amazing now, because I am a little bit more mindful now, and especially with the gratitude, the affirmation, and the self-development stuff, I'm more mindful, and I can sometimes go back and I can see and almost psychoanalyze how I reacted to things and what I was lacking at the time, like in previous relationships. And I think, Jesus Christ, I was not grateful for anything that she did for me at all. So that's something that I do express gratitude for it now. Not to her particularly, but in general, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, if I hadn't have gone through some of the stuff in that relationship, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I certainly wouldn't be in the position where I know so much more about me and about what I want to be feeling and how I should be feeling. Instead of the problem we have is that the language we use is that we're focused a lot of the time, and I slip into this all the time, and I have to then correct myself. It's bloody hard work. I start flipping back into I don't want this, and I don't want that, and I don't want that, and it's this, and it's that, and it's that, instead of just going, whoa. And it's so easy to fall into that trap, but so hard to claw it back to yourself. So, for instance, I'd be annoyed about something, and I'd be like, then being the observer of my thought and being like, what am I getting annoyed about? Let it go, man. Let it go. I'd spend 5 minutes sitting there, like, doing my own heading about something. And all that's doing is making myself ill. So saying to yourself, I will, I can. Doing that breath work. What I think about when I breathe in then is I think about, the universal gift that is being able to breathe, having the oxygen to keep us alive, feeling your heart get bigger, expanding when you take that chest breath in. Breathing in through your belly rather than breathing in upper lung breathers. It's a real bad thing for us. A lot of them aren't breathing properly. A lot of us breathe through our mouths too much. A lot of us don't fill up our bellies. A lot of us sometimes breathe too heavily. And I know that from doing a lot of training, where the personal trainer would say to me, I'd be like running for an hour and a half, and he'd be like, right, into a 10. But then I'd have like a 10 seconds recovery time before sprinting again. And in the end, I'd get my recovery down, my heart rate down within 5 to 10 seconds. And that was because of my breathing. So he'd be like, breathe through your nose, half breath, half out. But even like you're racing. And that's exactly how athletes and stuff get trained in high altitude, so that they can basically work at a certain level with less oxygen in their blood. So then, of course, by rights, they can exert themselves. They get used to being able to hit those personal best, the PBs, and their times in a not thriving environment. And so then when they're back in their own environment, they actually can power through. It's like having an extra shot in a gun kind of thing, you know. The one I want to get to on this, and this was a great one. I believe in myself. I expect good things to happen. Dreams can come true. I am safe. Everything is going to be okay. I'm getting better and better at this thing called life. I love that one. So you now get affirmations a lot better, right? Super powerful. It's up to you how far you do them. It's always your choice. You can do as much or as little of anything in your life as you choose to. No one's going to force you. Thing is, if someone tells you to do something, you're not going to do it. So we have to be really mindful of our language to kind of give people options. And I studied a little bit of this with child psychology, because you could basically get your kids to do certain things by giving them options, give them 3 options, but actually you've reworded that the same end, outcome is the same. So we need to try and do that with ourselves as well. Be mindful about what language we're using to take us towards that desired outcome. The I ams, I wills, I have, and then just to start doing it. What really hit me in good stead with the gratitude and stuff was you journal gratitude down. And before, if you listen to delta waves or do meditations in the evening or hypnosis sleep audio, which is super powerful, and in the language patterns, there are law of attraction language, there are power statements, there's also all sorts of like hidden language, like thought-provoking. So it'll be like, you will do what the best thing is for you to be successful and happy, won't you? So it then allows you then to go ahead and make that choice. So really good. I'm going to get off. I hope you found that useful with the gratitude and the affirmations and the hack about the breath work and the feeling it, slowing down with it as well. But again, it's only my opinion and it's only what works for me. And I know that if I stop doing this stuff, I'd start going backwards. So I need to keep it up. I need to keep doing it. I need to keep sharing, and helping other people to take those steps themselves at times. So I hope you found it useful. Hook me up if you want that book, The Magic. If you want to get involved with one of the lives, or even want to do a challenge of your own, I'm happy. I'm happy to answer a message or a question. So you're very welcome. Take care of yourselves, and I'll look forward to catching up with you on another live really soon. You never know, it might be first thing in the morning, right? So out from me, out from Clive. Peace. Oh, still on. Boom.